Feel the intensity of another world, weekdays.
Good afternoon. A protest spreads over tuition increases at City University. Local school board elections are being held today in New York. And a John Miller special report on gun runners on News 4 at 6.
Today on Live at 5, City roots for Central Park rape victim as she shows signs of coming out of a coma. We'll have a medical update. Governor Cuomo faces today's deadline over his controversial budget as student protests spread. We have the story. Will fewer political cronies sit on school boards? Will parents have more of a say? We'll have the latest on today's crucial school vote. In a special interview, Cheers' Kirstie Alley talks about her new movie, Loverboy. All this today on Live at 5.
Well, I believe him. Don't you? He passed a lie test. He's a congenital liar. He's a congenital what? I'm not sure you can say that on television. Let me show you his picture. Well, I'll tell you this. When you're hot, but this is not how you want to be hot. Here is the beloved Morton Downey Jr. following what he says was an attack at the San Francisco airport in the men's room by 3 skinheads who cut his hair and painted a swastika on his face. Mr. Downey once again finds himself on the front page of everybody's hometown newspaper, and he is here to say, among other things, that what he said was true, and in spite of the doubting expressions that have come from the airport police at San Francisco, he says he passed a lie detector test and he's got his own witnesses. And I told him we've got the fairest audience in all of television. And I know you believe, as I do, that we're all innocent. We may want this concession someday for ourselves until we're proven guilty. Ladies and gentlemen, Morton Downey Jr.
More and more people are visiting Florida this year. They're not bringing back sunglasses or beach towels. They're bringing back guns. Because they're easy to get down there, and even easier to sell in New York. To pushers, pimps, and our children. Watch John Miller's undercover report, Gun Runners, The Florida Connection, this week at 6 on Channel 4. Find out how Florida souvenirs are making a killing on the streets of New York.
You hate him, Lord, there ain't no in-between.
From miles around they come and go, rich and poor, young and old. The America's new hero, the blue-collar king.
Well, there he is, the pit bull of TV, in a condition that he's not likely to show up at a senior prom with that face. But Morton Downey Jr. is here in the company of his beloved daughter, just one of them. Tracy Downey Cole joins us, who was with her father on the night of this incident in San Francisco. Lloyd Schoonmaker joins us, Morton's musical director, and the artist you just heard on this record. Robin Hardy also came in. We're glad you're here. You're the limo driver.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you this, when all else fails, call your limo driver. Okay, Morton, here's what's not so funny. First of all, you've got a lot of general managers very nervous, and they have a constituency too, and this is a community of people not always crazy about what we do on this program, so I'm more than passingly familiar with the anxieties that are out there, about, especially now that everybody's on talk shows, everybody's complaining about trash television. Are you in professional jeopardy here? I mean, is it possible that your own company would sever its professional relationship with you and dump the show altogether?
Sure, I'm in professional jeopardy, and if I'm lying, I'm obviously already in mental jeopardy, and
need a rubber room. My people have to be concerned with what the managers feel at television stations that carry my show, about the veracity of the statements I make. They have to be concerned because advertisers all of a sudden say, ugh, you know, the guy was ugly before they did this to him. I don't want to necessarily, sponsor a show like that. So, yes, there is the danger, and the danger is that when this type of thing continues to portray itself in the newspapers, it looks like trouble follows Downey, when in reality, trouble follows every American who hits the streets today because of the problems that are out there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you're not quite like every American, though, Morton.
But I try to be.
But that night he was, because the officers that came to the scene on an assault call did not know who he was. Their first response when they came to the car was, have you been drinking?
They also
Not
acted
what
as
happened.
if he started it, which he didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't even stay to listen to what he was saying.
Are you suggesting that they didn't recognize him because of the disfigured face, or because they just didn't...
They just didn't recognize him.
The show wasn't held in San Francisco, and so there was a lot of people that weren't familiar with Morton Downey.
said his name,
and I
so
said
I
his
blank
name. I had the
faces.
policeman write the name
he
down.
didn't
This is
ring
Morton
any
Downey.
bells, so-
This is the hotel we're at. This is the room. They hee-hawed around about it. They kept accusing him of being drunk and this kind of thing. And finally, Mort was saying, let's just get out of here, Lloyd. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. And I said, call us if you want us at the hotel. Boom, we were gone.
Yeah. I'm not sure how the police failure to recognize Morton works toward his defense.
Well,
What they're
let
saying
me say this. I'm not sure it works towards my defense. I never kept a diary. I didn't realize that a victim had to defend themselves, all right? But I understand that now. I understand why a woman doesn't report she's raped anymore, all right? I understand what you go through. I understand only that the little person, if I got treated that way, imagine how the person who's not known at all to anyone gets treated.
Yeah. And here's your interview with the San Francisco television station. Roll the tape.
I have no idea. I have no idea. First, they got me from behind. Then they brought me, one guy had me around the neck. Another guy was pulling me from my eyes. I don't think he was trying to cover my eyes. I think he was just pulling me back. One guy sat on me, threw my face back to the wall with their arm. And that's when I knew there was a third guy, which was the third guy, started writing all over my face. And I then kicked out, and one guy yelled, kill her, and the other guy just started cutting my hair off. And when they finished cutting my hair, in the beginning they said, don't get mad, get even. In the end they said, Sig Heil. And somewhere in there they said, now you're one of us. It's just a random thing of some people who are trying to be big shots who have absolutely no balls whatsoever. That's all it is. That's all it is. And I wouldn't give them a minute of publicity because that's the type of thing they're looking for. So if you're smart, you don't even run this story. That's all they're looking for. Those kind of guys want publicity. Makes them feel important. Trouble would just kill the camera and forget it.
Mm-hmm. The airport police revealed that their investigation showed that there was certainly no way to prove that this happened to you. Let's put it that way. And they are leaning toward some sort of story that you yourself concocted. We should also say that you have acknowledged openly that you've consumed alcohol prior to this incident. I think you said you had gin and cranberry juice?
Vodka and cranberry
juice.
Mm-hmm.
5 of them. Is that the
I
best?
had 5 of them, and to be honest with you, I had one on the way back in the limousine.
Are the police ready? I mean, we got them on tape. Relax. They're not here.
I wish they were. I wish they were, yeah.
They're lying.
Okay, here's what the cops said at the airport. Watch this.
Up to this time, we have had no evidence that any of the statements that Mr. Downey made could be confirmed. He was upset. He had been drinking, and he basically refused help, and he didn't want any police action taken at the time. Mr. Downey claimed that he was knocked to the ground in the restroom. He was dragged in a stall. He had his hair cut, and he had swastikas printed on him, on his clothing. The witnesses that were in the area saw no confrontation in the restroom. There was someone that was there for that period of time, saw no confrontation, and we saw no skinheads here at the airport during that period of time with all of the questioning that we have had with passengers and employees.
Pretend somebody accuses you of something, and you can't prove that it isn't true, and your boss fires you just because he thinks you're lying.
And I never saw one of those policemen who made positive statements that I said, or I didn't say. They were not in evidence.
One other thing. Are you there, caller? Hi.
Hi. I'd just like to say that, in fact, this really did happen to Morton Downey Jr., that it's about time that this happened. He is a degrading. He puts people down. He shuts them up. He spits on people, and I am surprised he hasn't been murdered.
Because you annoy somebody, does that mean it gives somebody the right to come and murder you?
He's ignorant to people. He's totally humiliating to people.
You sound pretty rude to me.
I hope you're not, I hope we're not that insecure that we can't, is the first cut of the Downey Show available? All right, here's, let's show that. You can see your television set. Hey, he's different. Say what you want about Mort. Here he is, speaking,
Say that. Say that, Jerry. All right. The death penalty. The bleeding heart pablum pukers think it's cruel and unusual punishment. Like hell, I don't think it's cruel or unusual enough. I'm sick and tired of hearing about defendants' rights and prisoners' rights. How about the rights of the people being murdered every day? Because the law has no teeth. The electric chair, I'd hit that damn switch faster than a 2-bit gambler in a room full of slot machines. Murderers and drug pushers, I say, hang the creeps by their testicles!
I mean, we don't want this off television, do we? Isn't this the land of the First Amendment? And aren't we and media's getting kind of boardroom anyway, aren't they? They're all wearing ties today, and, you know, they're all serious. And maybe we could use a little more raucousness in our media. Now, I guess it's up to the management teams of not only his company, but the stations that carry the show to decide, shall Morton survive on television with his program or not? And we'll let this audience offer its own judgment in just a moment.
Me and My Girl, Broadway's biggest musical comedy hit, promises you'll have love, laughter, and be happy ever after. Now's the time to get your tickets to Broadway's happiest hit, the award-winning musical, Me and My Girl.
Looks like a fun.
It feels like a sneaker.
Looks like a fun.
It feels like a sneaker.
New shockproof, pain-proof, Easy Spirit dress pumps with the same insides as the Easy Spirit sneaker.
Looks like a fun.
It feels like a sneaker.
Easy Spirit dress. Shall we walk? Where can I get them?
At Stearns.
To be part of the audience, write Donahue Tickets, care of NBC, New York, 10112.
Hello. I'm so glad you joined us today. Yes.
Yes, I love your show. And as for you, Mr. Downey, I believe you 100%. I don't think there's anyone that would go through what you went through for publicity or any other reason.
Yes, I'm not a big fan of your show, but I want to know why you can't be as calm and rational on your own show as you are today. I think it might make your own show a lot more productive.
If there's anybody left who hasn't seen the Morton Downey Show, let me share with you just here's some of what Mort does on his program. Here's just an excerpt. Roll this tape.
What happened during the McCarthy era, when there were unprincipled attacks upon the institutions of higher education, unprincipled attacks against college professors, purges were made, education was the victim. It is the only way, probably, that education can guard itself against the right-wing lunatic fringe that you embody most of the time,
Would
Mort.
you agree with me then that at times it is people such as pablum-puking scum as yourself who make the decisions as to who sit on a board, as to who will become tenured in a school, and you make sure that the so-called radical right-wing bums like me never get tenured, so it's only your philosophies that get into the brains of people, so you brainwash.
Because that's typically mistaken, Don't you try and pass that off. Don't you try and pass that off.
Let's come back and see what these people have to say about this.
You want them to act like...
This is a silly question, but I'm curious. How did your hair go back so fast?
It's a very fair question. I've been asked by my fiancée not to take this rug off. And I will not violate what she said, but it's a rug. That's how it grew back so fast. The miracle of an $1,850.
Just like you did that. Was that a snap in the front?
It's a snap, right?
Yeah, do that again. I'm not sure we got it here.
They put snaps on it, all right?
I see. Uh-huh.
I didn't take it off. I promised I would.
You believe him? You do?
I did, and I just wanted to make sure.
Yes. Believe me, if we wanted a publicity stunt, we'd have done a whole lot better than this.
Right at the airport.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
It's Siemens one-day sleep and eat sale tomorrow with savings for day and night. Sleep easy and save on sofa beds, all styles drastically reduced. Save on day beds and the finest names in bedding. Plus, tomorrow, get Sealy Posture Royal and King Coil Deluxe bedding for just $88 each piece in twin size. All dining rooms are sale priced. Save on dinettes, too. All styles reduced, including this 5-piece dinette featuring chairs in a variety of colors. That's Siemens Sleep and Eat sale tomorrow.
On a classic vacation, every minute is a surefire hit. Call for your free Classic Connecticut vacation guide.
Chuck Ross, are you there?
I sure am, Phil.
You are a reporter for the San Francisco Chronicle, and I understand you're watching our program as it is fed live to KGO in San Francisco.
Right.
And I wanted you to have a shot here. What do you think? And with very little time, what kind of inquiry might you want to make of Mr. Downey?
Well, a couple things. First of all, I think the skepticism isn't necessarily of the media. The skepticism is that we're reporting of the police, the problems the police have with Mort's story. Mort, I've got a couple of questions. First of all, if these were skinheads, Aryan white racist supremacists, why was the swastikas drawn in reverse, the pictures that we've seen?
You know, I finally asked that question of Jim Gabbard, who is the owner of the station in San Francisco, which shows my program out there, which, of course, your company once showed. And he gave out 30 pieces of paper to 30 employees. 15 drew it one way, 15 drew it another. You'd have to ask Jim Gabbard. He's already answered that question.
Did you, the implication is that you've looked in the mirror and did it, but it is also believable that a skinhead would be capable of drawing a swastika backward.
Right.
Are you, did you want another shot here, Chuck?
Yeah, Mort, I've got another question. What were skinheads, do you think, doing at the airport around 11:20 in the evening? Were they just waiting for Morton Downey to show up?
I don't even know for sure that they were skinheads. I didn't make the initial accusation that was a skinhead. It was said by a reporter, perhaps these were skinheads, and I answered perhaps so because they said Sig Heil.
Right.
I don't think that they were Jewish rabbis.
Yeah, but you also have no memory of any faces.
I did have the memory of the one face, which was with the red hair, the type of red hair that you don't have freckles with.
Right.
Why do I have to prove I'm innocent when a crime is perpetrated against me?
Because you're a famous face, and here we go
But
again.
did you have to prove that you were attacked in the airport? Did Dan Rather have to approve that he was attacked on Park Avenue?
I certainly would have had to prove it if there were no one else to collaborate my story.
But when they say trouble follows Downey, no one could be any farther from having trouble following than Dan Rather, but he got punched out on Park Avenue. Phil Donahue, they tried to punch out in an airport.
And I joined you with a life experience that, if I'm reading the right notes, you've had yourself. I spent some time in jail, and I didn't enjoy it, even a little bit. And we'll be back in just a moment.
Today on Live at 5, City roots for Central Park rape victim as she shows signs of coming out of a coma. We'll have a medical update. Governor Cuomo faces today's deadline over his controversial budget as student protests spread. We have the story. Will fewer political cronies sit on school boards? Will parents have more of a say? We'll have the latest on today's crucial school vote. In a special interview, Cheers' Kirstie Alley talks about her new movie, Loverboy. All this today on Live at 5.
Open your eyes to a freshness you can't see, a freshness you can't taste. It's food style fresh all over the place.
Hurry in for our 34th anniversary coupon savings. Bounty Towel Jumbo Roll, 34 cents. Duncan Hines Deluxe Cake Mixes, 34 cents. Fresh Iceberg Lettuce, 34 cents.
Food style fresh. It's food style fresh all over the place.
Let's go, we're late.
All right, let's go.
You're 40 times more likely to die here than in any other type of traffic accident. So if you think you can beat the odds, think again.
Know them all too well. Why don't you sleazy bastards who call yourselves...
The people in our office who love and care about me want me to explain that my incarceration followed an altercation with a LaRouche at LaGuardia Airport, at which time I was placed in the slammer at LaGuardia Airport. I just want to make that. And Mort went to jail because his father cooperated with a bad check that you had signed, and you did 61 days?
61 days for a $63 check when I was 22.
Yes, yes.
When you were on the boat, Mort, you talked about how people come to you with the most fantastic stories, and that when you root around in them, often they turn out to be fake.
Is this Chuck or David?
This is David.
David, yes.
Yes, and I wondered that if you understand why people may be a little skeptical about this story, where there seem to be, even if you were indeed attacked, that there seem to be a lot of questions that remain on this.
There'll always be questions, sir, that remain on it because, A, as the gentleman in the back said, no one saw it happen except the perpetrators. B, because let's remember the inconsistencies of the police department. 2 Filipino witnesses disappeared, couldn't speak English. Unidentified witness saw it happen, disappeared, we'd never heard of them again. Now they can resurrect someone. But where are the police giving me the answer? And the answer is, I'm still supportive of police. They're overworked, underpaid, and maybe that's the problem.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
For a transcript of today's show, send $3 to Donahue Transcript, 267 Broadway, New York, New York, 1007, or call 212-227-READ.
All right, friends, we're going to find out how you feel. I believe Morton Downey should stay on the air. Nobody can prove his story is wrong, and I'd rather give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's save Morton's show. I don't know. Trash TV's going too far. America will survive without him. I think Morton ought to be off the air. No, you don't. Morton wins. Morton wins. I'll tell you. Well, wait a minute. I didn't have a chance to introduce Laurie Krebs, your beloved fiancé. Stand up here. I know you're on his
Services
team.
provided and promotional fees paid by the following.
Value Hardware Stores. Your place for service and selection, where you'll find their exclusive professional quality master mechanic hand and power tools.
The Drake offers an exciting weekend in New York at a special price. The only Swiss hotel on Park Avenue. For reservations, call 800-DRAKE-NEW-YORK or 212-421-0900.
Fiancé Lori Krebs, are you standing by your man?
I sure am, 100%.
He's innocent, huh?
He's innocent. This is a man that's just recently had his wart removed from his face. He's lost a lot of weight.
I'm a Lilco lineman, so I know a little something about how appliances add to electric bills. One of the biggest energy users are refrigerators, which can cost as much as $30 a month to use. That's why we bought a high-efficiency refrigerator when we replaced our old one. Over the new refrigerator's lifetime, its energy efficiency could lower my electric bills by more than $1,000. For ways to reduce electricity use and hold down your electric bills, give us a call.
Learn CPR and learn how to save a life. Call the American Red Cross.
From WNBC TV in New York, this is Live at 5 with Jack Cafferty, Sue Simmons, and Al Roker with the weather.
Back now live here at the hospital. To put the victim's progress in perspective, doctors have what they call the Glasgow Coma Scale, where consciousness is rated on a scale of 3 to 15, 15 being alert and healthy. When the victim was brought into the hospital, she was rated a 5. Then all last week, she was rated a 6, and now she's up to an 11 on the coma scale. But as doctors say, there's no guarantee she'll ever make it back to a 15. Reporting live from Metropolitan Hospital, McGee Hickey News 4. Back to you, Jack.
McGee, thanks very much.
Donald Trump jumped into the discussion of the Central Park attack in a very public way. The developer took out $85,000 worth of newspaper ads demanding the return of the death penalty. New York's most visible billionaire talked about the move this afternoon, and Tony Guide is here with a report.
Sue, Donald Trump's language in his ads is appropriate. It is as exaggerated as he is. Trump says the Central Park attack is just the latest example of, quote, the complete breakdown of life as we knew it. In a news conference within the hour, Trump also said, quote, wolf packs are all over the place in this city. He's calling for the return of the death penalty, but what he has managed to do is politicize the terrible incident in the park by leveling a broadside at Mayor Koch, who he seems to blame above all for crime in New York.
If a man can't run a city and provide basic protection for its citizens, that city is in big trouble, and that politician should be in big trouble. If a man is afraid to say that he hates somebody who's just maimed and hurt so badly a young woman, if a man is afraid to say that he hates a man or a woman that's mugged and raped a senior citizen and killed a senior citizen, that bothers me, because there's not a thing in the world wrong with hating in certain instances. And you have an instance here where you have killers roaming the street, preying on all of us. And I'll be damn straight that I'm going to hate those people. And I'm going to hate them enough that we do something about it. Because if we don't do something about it, this society is in big trouble. It already is.
Mayor Koch said today it sounds like Trump wants to execute the Central Park teenagers without a trial. The mayor also says Trump wants to act political but hasn't the courage to offer himself into the political arena. As to the death penalty, Trump was asked if he would advocate it for any of the young men who might be convicted for this crime, since they range in age from 14 to 17. He said no, the minimum age for the death penalty should be 18 or 21. He wasn't sure which. And he said any kids convicted in this crime should go to jail for at least 25 years. Jeff?
Thank you, Tony.
A husband and wife in Illinois say a masked gunman came into their home Saturday and kidnapped their 6-week-old baby girl. That was bad enough, but 3 years ago, Robert and Paula Sims of Alton reported a masked gunman abducted another of their children, a girl 13 days old. The child's remains were found later, no one was arrested, and the parents invoked their rights against self-incrimination when the case went to a grand jury. Police are taking a new look at the first case as the current probe continues.